Hello, hello. We are going to be talking about your money today. I'm excited to talk about money when it comes to giving you ideas of how you can do it better. So let's get some people signed on here just a minute. Get everybody up and running so that we can talk a little bit about money. Is there a better way? Is there a better way? I think there is. I want to talk to you a little bit about your own money, what you have going on. I'm actually going to show a real live client here that I am working with and how I see that they could be using their money in a better way. Kind of what would I do if I were in this situation? Well, it's super simple in this one. I really see something that's going to change this person's life financially if they will use the ideas that I'm going to throw at them. A lot of people don't use my ideas, and I totally understand that. We're all different the way we feel about our money and how we're using it. So when I see scenarios, I give you ideas just based on my experience. If you want to go that way, fine. If you don't, fine. We're all different. We're all different. It's your prerogative. I just want to show you maybe some things that might blow your mind as far as how can I do better with what I bring home every month. And it's not about frugality. I don't teach frugality. I don't appreciate the gurus out there that are condemning people. If you were handling your money better, or if you didn't go to the movies every Friday night, or if you didn't, plan your overnight stay with your friends, or whatever it is, I want to step away from that. I don't want frugality. I'm not a frugal person. I want realistic things that I can do with my money that I've never heard of before. I love new information. I love the idea that maybe my spending's not my problem. Maybe I don't spend too much. And from the things that I have seen working with people individually, 90% of you do not spend too much. Okay. Of course, I have had clients that they spend too much. Yeah. So I have some that are just like, they've got 10 animals and they've got $1,000 a month that they have to feed the animals. Um, you know they maybe they're eating out every single day 2 or 3 times. They're buying coffee for themselves and friends through the day. Sure, we can really blow money. I blow a lot of money, but how am I going to judge you for what you're doing with your money when I'm doing the same exact thing? So when I learned the concept and the strategies behind what I'm doing with my money and where am I really blowing it? Is it on my coffees every day, or is it, buying pizza 2 or 3 times a week, or is it letting the kids play sports and buying their equipment? Maybe my problem is I buy, too many clothes or shoes or, whatever. I mean, do it. But let's see what maybe you're doing with your money that we can correct that's going to keep you able to spend the money that you want to spend in a month. I love to give, so I would love to give more every single month. You know, what ways, bank wise, am I using my money that's really costing me a fortune? And I'm not even seeing that because, well, I wanted to buy the house, I wanted the car, the credit cards, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're going to talk about one scenario here that I have today that when I show this client here in a little while, I have a meeting with her. I want to show her a new way. I want to show her something maybe she just never thought of before. And I'm pretty excited about this one because I really feel like that she's going to be excited once she sees what I'm doing here. So a quick hello to everybody. Feel free to, put in the chat what state you're in because I love to hear from you all. I'm getting all of the feedback, guys. You're doing good with Velocity Banking. I'm super excited for you. I'm so glad that I can be a part of that with you. And now we're going to talk about one more thing that you've maybe never thought of before. Okay, so let's start. This lady has an income of $4,200 per month. Let me make sure I'm staying on the board here. So income. Okay. First, I have to learn how to spell income. So let's start over. Income. Okay, here we go. Income, $4,200 a month. Okay, so some of you may relate to that. Some of you may be, wow, I couldn't live on $4,200 a month. Some may be saying, oh my goodness, wow, like that's a lot of money. So we've got different folks out there, dude. You're all making different money. So let's not be judging one person for making $100,000 a month and us for making $3,000 a month. It's all in what you're chasing, okay? So she's making $4,200 a month, and now we're going to look at her debt. And I'm just going to talk about her credit card debt because she has so many other things I could be talking about. We may move on into that. But right now, we're just going to start with her credit card debt because I know there's a lot of you people out there dealing with credit card debt. And here we go. So she has credit card number 1 at $41.67. And her monthly payment on that is $262. All right, credit card number 2. She has $1,571. And her payment on this one is $200. She's paying high interest. Okay. And then we've got $2,043 for credit card number 3. And she is paying $231. And I'm going to go ahead, in case we get to it, not sure we're going to get to it, but I'm going to put 2 other lines of credit that she has up here. It's HELOC 4110, HELOC number 1, personal line of credit, and then HELOC number 2. The balance is $54.14. And so one payment is $120. And then the other is $150. Okay, so what would I do in her situation? Well, there's something that I didn't share with you all, but I noticed when I was looking at her numbers, she has about $7,000 in one savings account and then has about $15,000 in another savings account. I want to talk about what she could be doing with the savings account that could be hurting her here. Okay, so let's talk about that because I'm going to be focusing on the infinite banking concept today and what that would look like in her situation with these numbers that she's already spending the monthly payments on, right? She's already spending. I'm going to put this down. All right, and let's see if we can knock off some of that what we got going on with the reflection on the board. Better? A little bit better. Okay. So let me kind of go over this a minute because I don't talk about this a lot, but this is a major concept in my own life and has made such a difference in the way I handle my money. So if you have, and in this situation, she has, like I said, 7,000 in one savings account and about 15,000 in another. So with the infinite banking concept, and you will have to check out some videos. I've got some videos, especially with Chris Noggle, where we talk about this. But the IBC, infinite banking concept, is a concept of taking your money, putting it into a specially designed product that is going to pay, now get this, guaranteed, I can spell today, I don't know what's up, okay, guaranteed interest, okay? So my policies right now are averaging some high, some low, but let's say around 3%. So 3%. If you're getting that in your bank right now, I'm happy for you. But let's see how long that lasts, okay? Because if you guys kind of have watched any of your savings accounts, you'll notice that I've seen them as low as, oh, I don't know, 0.0145. I mean, not much, right? So to get a guaranteed at 3%, that makes me want to jump up and down. Now, another thing is not just the guaranteed 3%, but this is compounding interest. So, first year 3%, the next year 3% off of what it's grown to, right? That's a beautiful concept. Now, on top of this, mine are in mutual insurance companies, so I'm not just growing by the 3%, but they're paying dividends. Now, the dividends are not guaranteed, and I'm not a financial advisor to tell you how that works, but just saying that every single month I get the paid dividends on this money as well, okay? Now, how is that beautiful? Well, it ends up being about 6% overall that I'm drawing on my money. And I don't see many savings accounts that have 6%. So for this 3% to be guaranteed, and then I'm gaining the dividends too, well, I'm super excited. So guess what? That's where I store my money, and it wouldn't be fair of me not to share this information with you. So what else is it? You're guaranteed interest. You're guaranteed not to lose it. Wow. Now that's something that we don't get. All right. So if you have been hearing anything that goes on with the bank, then I don't think you have a guarantee not to lose your money in the bank, right? If you've got your money in stocks, you're not guaranteed not to lose it, right? Because it's very likely that you can lose your money. So I like to put my money in things that I'm comfortable that I'm not going to lose it, because I don't have a lot of money to play with, right? And so when you don't have a lot of money to play with, then you kind of get nervous about where you put it. So that's why I don't play the stock market. It makes me a nervous wreck at watching that stuff go up and down. I ain't got time for that. I don't know about you, but I don't have time for that. So you're guaranteed not to lose it in these funds. Not only that, they come with a benefit. So your beneficiaries are going to be taken care of in the event and when something happens to you, because we know that that's coming, okay? So what else do we have in this situation? Well, while my money's sitting in here, if I have 10,000 in cash value here, then guess what? I can take out the 10,000 in a loan line of credit. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. form and still be drawing this 3% and the dividends being paid on this $10,000. How's that even possible? How is that even possible that I am able to be drawing, gaining interest and dividends being paid on an amount that is no longer sitting in here? I've pulled it out and I'm using the money. How can that even happen? Well, that's what we're about to talk about. Yeah, I had to take a quick break right there. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is how do you have a savings that is guaranteed interest for as long as you hold the policy, guaranteed not to lose your money, and even though you pull money and use it out of this account, it is still gaining compound interest. I know it's hard to believe, but we're going to talk about this. This is my favorite thing now. I am using these IBC policies as hard as I can go because I love them in every way, and I'm sure I'm leaving stuff out. But like I said, I'm throwing information out to you. I just want to inform you of what you can do with your money that's going to absolutely change your financial life. The YouTube channel has been set up to be nothing but information, good information for you. Okay? So if I can get information out to you that's going to help you know how to, or at least show you the options that you have with your own money, if I can just do that for you, then I am fulfilled. I am about teaching you different ways and showing you options that can help you get out of debt and change your financial life for the rest of your life, your children's lives. We want to pass down a legacy that is like we know what we're doing. And like, you know, when your kids look at you, you want them to look at you as, wow, mom, you taught me so much, or you've got it all together. You know, my 15-year-old, she says that to me a lot, and it kind of blows my mind. She'll say, Mom, wow, you know, I tell everybody how good you are with what you do, and I see how you work, and you know, you always try to look nice. I mean, she's always saying these things to me, and when your children are saying things to you like that, it's encouraging, right? It makes you think, wow, I don't even see that in myself, but if my kids are saying that about me, then I'm doing something right, because we want our children to look up to us. My older daughters, you know, I've had them say to me, oh, I knew you were going to be successful at that, Mom, because you've always been successful at everything you do. And you're like, where does that even come from? Because we don't see ourselves as that. But wow, thank God that we're encouraging our children and our people around us. So it's super, super important that you keep growing in knowledge. You keep gaining knowledge and wisdom so that you can do right by yourself, but for your family as well. That's so important. Okay, so I don't even know how I got off on that, so I'm sorry. I'm going back here. Okay, so with this lady, I'm going to tell her about the IBC. And I'm going to say, what if now, out of your $15,000, $17,000 that you have in savings, whatever it is, what if you just took 8,000 of that and put into an IBC policy? Okay, so if she were to get her policy set up, I have 6 of them, so I know you can do this. But if she were to get the policy set up and transfer this 8,000 into her own IBC, her own system that's going to work for her, what would that look like? So she puts the 8,000 in the IBC. It starts growing over here, right? It's growing because it's gaining compound interest and paying dividends, right? So she says to herself, self, now, what if I were to take some of my money that's sitting in savings and I were to, I don't know, pull it over here and pay off credit card number 1? What's that going to look like? Well, let's run some numbers and see what it looks like. So 4167 is the balance on credit card number 1. And what if she thought, well, you know what? I could go ahead and pull 8,000 out of my 8,000 and pay off credit card number 3. That sure would feel good. So 2,043 for credit card number 3. Maybe she'll come back and get number 1, but the reason I'm looking at 1 and 3 is because the balances are causing high monthly payments. Okay, so if she could pull out of her new IBC, come over here, pay off these 2, let's see what this looks like. Okay, so that's $6,210. All right. So she's paid off these 2 cards. What happened to her monthly payments? Well, they went away. All right. So let's add up what her payments were. 262 and 231. So that's $493 that she now has free. Now, I know you guys are sitting there and you're like, okay, I have some money in my savings, but that's my savings and I don't want to, I feel nervous about using my savings. Dave Ramsey says that I need a whole year worth of expenses set up in an account somewhere. So that's my account and I don't really want to touch my savings. I don't blame you. But let's go back to what we're talking about here. You've put your savings into the IBC. So your amount that you initially deposited for your premiums is actually growing at compound interest and paying dividends. But yeah, Christy, you just told me to take a loan from myself though and pay off my credit cards. Now I don't have $8,000 in there. Well, your $8,000 is still growing at compound interest and paying dividends. You took a loan from the insurance company. And so what happens if you don't pay this back? Well, if you have $100,000 in a death benefit, then that 8,000 would just be deducted off of your death benefit when it pays out to your beneficiary. But we don't want to do that. We want to pay ourselves back because we have an additional $493 now that we didn't have. What can we do with that? Well, you're going to turn around and put that right back into your policy. Now, do you know what that means? That means that when you put this $493 back into the money that you borrowed, it's doing nothing but reducing the balance that you borrowed, and it's available for you to use again. I know, I said that. Okay, so let's kind of do it in, a visual here so that this makes sense to you. Now, remember what I said, when your initial savings was transferred into your own IBC policy. You took a loan and literally paid off two debts that were causing you to lose $493 per month. Let's talk about the interest on these two cards. One is 23.6%, and this one was 29.2%. So let's talk about the interest first, and then we're going to talk about the interest on the IBC. So let's do 4167 times 23.6. All right, so that's about $900 in a year, let's say. 900 for the whole year. And then 29.2% of 2043. So that's $597 approximately for the whole year. So let's add that up. So 597 plus 900, that's $1,497 in interest only for these two cards. Now, did I really do that right? Is that the way the interest is charged on credit cards? Do they like put that interest on that balance and say, okay, this is what you owe for the year? We wish they would do that. No, what they do is they are charging interest monthly. So depending upon what your balance is on the credit card, they charge that monthly. And then if you haven't paid that off by the next month, then guess what? You get to pay the balance plus the interest plus the new interest because it compounds throughout the year as well, right? Whew, that was a mouthful. Okay, so back to what we're talking about. If it was just $14.97 interest only for the entire year on the credit cards, what would it be on this IBC that you took a loan from yourself? Remember, it's still growing at compound interest and paying dividends, even though you have taken a loan, okay? What happens if we take the 6210 here that we borrowed initially from ourselves times about 6%? Now that's a high. My interest charges on loans I take for my own IBC policy is at 4.65. But let's calculate it at 6%. So 6210 times 6%, that is $372.60 interest only for 1 year. Wow. So I'm saving over $1,000 in interest for 1 year just because I did this little move with my savings, put it from the bank savings into my IBC savings, took a loan from myself. But am I ever going to pay $372.60? Am I ever going to pay that? I'm not. Why? Because I am going to take my cash flow and start putting it back into the money I borrowed. So let's just look at that. All right. So if now remember your credit card interest of $14.97 for 1 year, if that's the way they charged interest, and it's not. I'm giving you the basis that we already saved over $1,000 in 1 year on interest at the minimal by taking a loan from ourselves and doing it this way. But we're going to talk now about what kind of interest are we going to pay when we take a loan from our policy? So this $493, I would pay right back to myself. You were throwing it away to credit cards. You were just throwing it away. It was gone. But now you're able to put it right back into your own policy. You're paying yourself back. So let's see what that looks like. 6210, 493, 5717. Okay. You see where we're going here? What happens when I paid this down to 5717 and I'm charging that 6% interest? 343.02. Oh, the 9 in there. 343.02. Remember what the interest was when we took the initial loan? The 6210. That was 372.60. But now, after my first month, I just put the 493 right back in. Remember, if I need this 493 again, I can turn around and borrow it again for myself. But right now, I'm just putting it back in here to work this back down so that my cash value builds back up. Okay, so 372.60, 343.02. So this 29.58 in interest that I saved is going to be put back into my money. I sure hope that that makes sense, okay? So what is the IBC? If it works this well, it's going to save you from making these monthly payments. It's certainly going to save you a killing in interest charges. You're talking about interest being charged for the year instead of for month to month to month, the way the credit cards do it, right? So what does that look like when you're using more than 8,000 in savings? What does that look like when you're funding more than one policy and you have this available for you to use when you need it? What if you wanted to buy a car? Could you buy it with your own policy? Yes. What if you wanted to transfer savings into the IBC and then turn around and take a loan from yourself and pay off everything? There's so many what ifs here. It all depends on where you can start. Most people can start from just making minimum monthly payments into the IBC, the premium, so that they're building up. Some of you guys, a lot of you guys that I work with, have anywhere from 5,000 in savings to, I worked with a guy last week, he had $340,000 in savings, not gaining any interest at all because it's sitting in a checking account or a savings account that is drawing next to nothing. This is just an idea of showing you where you could put money, store it in a better place that's growing for you instead of just sitting there waiting for you to use it. Now, if this person that has $8,000 in savings were to come over here and pay off these two credit cards, how much of the savings is still going to be growing in whatever baby interest that it's in? Well, I mean, let's do the math. So if the debt that they want to pay off is 6210 and they have 8,000 in savings, so the 8,000 was the initial in the savings account. and then they put in the 60 or take out 6210 to pay off the credit cards. That means they have 1790 left in their savings. And how much is growing at the interest that the bank's offering them? Is it 8,000? No, it's $1,790. This is the only thing that is growing in interest now. Why? Because that's the way the bank plays. If you don't leave money sitting in their account, they're not going to pay you crap, because why? Why are they paying you even that 0.0145%? Because they are into fractional lending. They're using your money that you put in their account, and they're giving you little baby half cents in there so that you'll be happy that, oh, I'm gaining 0.01, 0.45 on my, whatever it is. It's usually so minor that you might get 2 or 3 cents a month paid to you in interest. So why wouldn't you use your money in a way that you're going to multiply your savings over time, and you can pull it out in a loan form, use it for what you need to use it for, and then pay yourself back? Because guess what? When you're not making these big payments anymore, it's easy to pay yourself back. And no interest, because this interest on the IBC is charged yearly. So every dime you put back into your policy is going to be subtracting off the interest that they charge for that whole year. This is the best concept that I have ever come across. This has changed the wealth side for me of not just saving money, not just gaining compound interest and dividends, it's just protected now where I'm not going to lose it. I love that part. But when I die, my children are taken care of. And I love that, because I love the security and knowing that they're going to be fine financially when I'm done here. And if they have these IBC policies set up, ready to go, then anytime any extra money comes in, whether it be a tax refund, or they sell a home and get some proceeds, or they get a death benefit, if you understand how these policies work, then you're going to know where to put your money and what is going to be the best way to grow your money year after year while it's available there for you to use it. I think that's beautiful. I want you all to understand that you have better ways to use your money, ways that are going to serve you. So when you're using the IBC, the infinite banking concept, whole life policies, whatever you want to call them, the whole life are specially designed and engineered, though, to help you accomplish all that we've talked about here today. This isn't just Joe Blow insurance agent. This isn't, your friend. I had the friend problem where the insurance agent, was a friend. I told them about this concept and they're like, oh yeah, I know exactly. I can do that. Well, guess what? They set them up wrong. I paid a bunch of money into nothing because some clown sat and pretended that they knew what I was talking about. So will I ever go back to them for anything? No. So when you make a decision to do this, please find a practitioner that knows what they're talking about. I have them listed underneath my videos on the YouTube channel. In the description, you can see the infinite banking concept, and there will be a calendar link there so that you can get your own appointment scheduled so that you can get with somebody who knows how to set these up correctly. I don't want you to go anywhere and waste money. I'm not into wasting money, and I know you're not. That's why the channel was created, was just so that you understand your options, that there's many out there that you probably are not aware of. And I know with the IBC, I was not aware of for years and years. I had heard of it, but there was nobody in my area that could do them for me until I decided to let the friend do that. And guess what? Those policies are of no value to me. They set them up in IULs that you don't even use for this. Do I have my book here somewhere, my infinite banking book, to show you if you want to get educated on your own? You sure can. Okay, so I thought I had my book here. Not seeing it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so if you want to try to figure this out on your own, this is the book. This is it. So you can't say that I'm trying to send you somewhere. I want you to figure this out on your own if you want to, or if you want to talk to somebody that already knows how to do this, then there's links in the video, okay? And practitioners will talk to you. They'll help you get set up. They'll help you understand what you're doing and what you can do with your own money. If you already have savings, then they can help you get all of that in order, understand what you can and can't use, help you to know how it's going to help you out. So the idea is to get you educated on what you can do with your money if you get excited about finding new ways, okay? When are you going to answer questions? Going to answer questions and answer live. If you ask it now, I'll try to answer it if I can. How about that? Thank you so much, Esther. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, it's the banks. No, I don't think anybody brings on their own problems. And I don't think that it's fair that we go to work. Say you just work 8 hours a day. I don't think it's fair that you go to work and you have to then pay it all back out to a bank. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that when we're growing up as kids and we decide to get a job, that we say, oh yeah, I want to go to work because I want to give it all to the bank. Raise your hand if that's what your life purpose is to throw away your money to a bank, because it's not my life purpose. My life purpose is to bring home money so that I can take care of my home. I can get my children the things that they need. Hey, Dee, thank you. Just saying, our goal in life is not to see how much money we can make so we can give it away to the bank's interest. If that was our life's goal, then I wouldn't have this channel. But the idea is there is a better way to use your money. A better way to use your money, and that's the only reason that the channel is here, is to give you options. Hey, Seuss is in the house. Hello, hello. Let's see here. we have any other questions? How do you get the book? It's all over Amazon if you want that book. Chris Noggle has videos. If you go to the link below in the description there's videos that you can watch. I have videos with Chris Noggle that you can watch. There's just so many options. It's just amazing that the information is right in front of us and we don't even see it because we've just not been taught to see it. I mean, that's literally all it is we haven't been programmed to see anything outside of the box. The things that are really, really good for us outside of the box. Okay? I'm also going to put a link in the chat on YouTube here. And let's see if we can get you all some more information. People from my team that will work one-on-one with you with the IBC. And if you have direct questions, you can go schedule your own appointment. Okay? The idea is to get informed, get educated. Okay? Because that's all you need is to get educated. Everything's going to fall in your lap if you will take the time to get educated and learn what options that you have. Okay? Again, the YouTube channel has over 1,000 videos. I have links under each video in the description to get you where it is you're wanting to go. You have to be responsible, self-responsibility, so that you can get started. All right, I'm going to go back to the worksheet that I was working on, if I can find it here again. And I'm going to talk about this lady some more. Is this the one I'm working on today? I think it is. Because I want to look at some more options she may have. No, that's not the one. Is it this one? Okay. Oh, okay. Her income is $4,200 a month. She's wanting to know what options she has. She already has a HELOC. That's pretty good. So let's just talk about those numbers here for a minute before I sign off today. She's got a really, really good situation here. But she's using her money everywhere but where she needs to be putting it. So let's go back over here and see where she can start right where she is instead of using her savings. That was just an idea. When I saw her savings, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's just letting that sit there and do nothing. So I wanted to show you how to use your savings first, but let's act like she doesn't have savings and she's just going to work with what she's got here, okay? All right, so go back over some numbers here again. She has HELOC number 1 and 2. These are personal lines of credit. So when people say, oh, no banks offer lines of credit anymore, you can say, bull, I just saw Christy working with a lady that had 2 personal lines of credit. So they are out there. Okay, so 4,100 for one and 5,400 for the other. And then the payment is 120 and 150. And then she has a medical bill that's at 0%. You could do that. She has a Capital One, so credit card number 1 is that 4,100. We'll say 4,100, and it's 262. Then credit card number 2 is 1572. And it has a $200 payment. All right. And then we'll put credit card number 3. But we're probably not going to go this far, but I'm just going to do it to give her an idea of where to start. So 231. Okay, so where would I start if I were in this lady's situation? Well, there's a couple of things. One, she doesn't have a lot of cash flow right now, so we're going to have to create cash flow. Where are we going to create that? Is she going to have to get a second job? Well, I don't think so, but hey, if she decides to, she can. Getting a second job only makes you move faster. But I don't believe in working a lot of overtime, so let's see what we can do with this. Okay. So the HELOCs that she already has up here, what could we do there? We're going to talk about that last. First, I'm going to work with these credit cards because if she can create some cash flow here, we might be able to do something. She has $2,200 in living expenses. All right. So if she has 2,200 in living expenses, I would about bet that probably, oh, well, I can tell she told me on her worksheet here. About 1,500 can be paid with a credit card. Okay. So gas, utilities. Okay, if I could spell today. Food, subscriptions. What else? Gas, utilities, food, car insurance, maybe your phones. So let's say all of this totals $1,500. And she can divide that up between these 3 cards. So what does that mean when I say that? Well, let's say she puts her gas onto one card, her food onto the other card, and then car insurance and phones, let's say, go here. Gas and utilities go here, food and subscriptions go here. So she could divide up her expenses so that she's putting her income that she's already going to be paying. You already pay for these things, right? We have to eat every month. We have to pay our car insurance. We're going to pay our phone bills. We have to buy gas so we can get to work. You have to pay for your electric and water bill. So you're going to be paying for these already. She's just going to divide them up to go on each credit card. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so this credit card here is going to have her gas and her utilities. So let's say that totals $500 per month, gas and utilities. So what does this mean? Well, this means that her credit card, $4,100, she would put the income of $500 in, and that just goes in to help pay for gas and utilities. All right. So yes, that's going to lower her balance, but what's the major thing this did right here? This $262 that she makes in monthly payments that fast. Why? Because when her income went into the credit card, it satisfied any amount due on credit card number 1. So now that $262 is cash flow over here. Do you have a credit card that you can do that on today? Did that just take a load of stress off of you? This is exactly where I started with Velocity Banking. I was freaking broke. I was so broke that when I learned that I could put my utilities on my credit card and just make the payment that I'm going to pay to utilities anyway, and it satisfied this big payment that I had every month and it cleared it, I was amazed. I was like, oh my gosh, that just gave me extra money in the month because I don't have to pay this credit card payment now. It was paid, considered paid, when I put my income in for my utilities. Okay, so let's talk about credit card number 2. We were going to pay our food with credit card number 2. And surely we all spend over $500 a month on our food. So 500 goes into credit card number 2. So 1572, put the 500 in just to cover food for the month. What happened to the $200? It's gone. It's cash flow now. Why? Because the money for the food went in, satisfying that monthly payment. Let's look at credit card number 3. We were going to pay car insurance with this, and car insurance and phones with this $500 that's going into credit card number 3. What happens to the monthly payment on credit card number 3? It's satisfied. Now we have $231 more dollars in cash flow. Okay, so, man, my board is really ducky. Okay, so does this mean that we have $693 in new cash flow that we didn't have before? Oh my goodness, well this lady already had about $250 in cash flow. So now she has $943 in total cash flow. What does that mean? Well, get really excited here because she's getting ready to gain more cash flow when we do trick number 4. With this $5,400 that's on the HELOC number 2, she has a $150 payment. Now remember, she makes $4,200 a month. So if this HELOC is linked at the same bank with her checking account, then when she gets paid, she can transfer the money directly into this line of credit. So this is her credit union or bank. Here's her checking account. Here's her HELOC or credit card, whichever it is. When she gets paid, her income goes in. So the $4,200, or it doesn't matter if she's paid daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, it doesn't matter. Whenever she's paid, she will transfer the income over into this HELOC. Then, if she has her car insurance, now remember, that's going to be charged on credit card number 3. But if credit card number 3, she makes that $500 payment to cover her car insurance, credit card number 3 would be paid directly out of this PLOC. So now all income goes into the checking. You transfer it over into your PLOC to reduce that balance, just like we're showing here. Our balance of the PLOC would be $1,200 now. Then the PLOC comes out and will pay all of these debts as they're due. Was that clear as mud, or did I make sense there? Because I think this is the hardest thing for people to get is how did that money get into the PLOC? Well, this is how. Your income comes into your checking account. The PLOC or credit card should be with the same bank as your checking account. Then you transfer the funds over into the PLOC, bringing that balance down. So now as you need money, it comes out through your checking, then you pay your payments. I sure hope that makes sense. That's awesome, is SparkTube. Awesome. People are really getting a lot of help. I'm so happy to hear that. Okay, so what does this mean? Trace this back down. So with the PLOC that she's going to be using, this 5,400 balance she has currently, her income will go into this PLOC, all of her income. Now her balance is down on the PLOC. What happened to the $150 payment that she has due here every month? It's gone. So did she now have over $1,000 in cash flow? Because we sit here and ran her numbers for a minute and showed her different places to put her money that's going to serve her instead of the bank. Is that what I just saw happen here? This is exactly how you can learn to work your money. Okay, so now we've got, all right, this is so funny. All right, I'm trying not to be sarcastic here, but I have to answer this. Cash flow as described does not pay down the actual debt. Thus, the interest will grow the debt. Well, thank you, radio, or what are you? A Radio Ranger. So Radio Ranger has opened up the world for us with his wisdom and has told us that you're not paying the interest, so that debt is just going to grow now. Oh, wise one. Okay, let's use common sense here, Radio Ranger. Okay. So let's talk about the cash flow that was gained from using your credit cards like a smart person would. Okay. And we've got 262 cash flow now, 200, and then 231, which was 693 for the credit cards alone. You've gained the cash flow. Now you've got the 150 where you put the income into the PLOC that's going to pay these down now. All right, so now we're at 843, and this client already had 250 in cash flow. So $1,093 in cash flow. Radio Ranger, you being super smart, What would you do with the cash flow now that you've gained from using your credit cards correctly? Let's wait while we wait for the answer to pop up. Crickets. Hold on, everybody. We're still waiting. Nothing? Nothing? You were smart enough to think up that the credit card interest was going to be growing this balance. I just thought you would be smart enough to figure out where $1,093 of cash flow would be going. Nothing? Well, what would Christy do? Well, Christy would consider, wait a minute, I have 1,093 in cash flow now. So maybe I would put it on this card and almost pay it off. Or maybe I would even divide up this 3 ways and put it in and start working down the balances. So when that interest applies, we don't even know it, because why? When you're putting more on these balances, you're reducing your interest charges significantly, radio. So when we watch a live teacher that's taking a minute to give you some ideas here, maybe if you think it on out instead of being sarcastic and a naysayer and trying to discourage people like everybody else in this world is doing, and realize, oh my goodness, this can make or break me. This could make someone's life hearing this information right now, because it changed my life and I want to change yours. This was unbelievable to me when I first heard about the credit card strategies. This totally was like, are you serious? Does this really work like this? I don't know if you guys are as broke as I was back in the day, but this transformed my life. And I started working on not just my credit cards, I started getting super excited because I was broke. I had kids that needed things. I had bills that had to be paid, and I couldn't pay them. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and knowing Paul was just getting satisfied for this month and Peter was going to go over 30 days. With this, everybody's paid, and not just paid, they're paid off. Just a few months of this person doing this, she's going to feel like she's a rich person. And you can do it too. This easy. I hope that while I'm talking, you ran to the kitchen table, you got a notebook paper, you laid out your credit cards, you laid out all of your debt, all of your living expenses, and I hope you're writing as fast as you can write right now. Because you just had a light bulb go on and you went, oh my Lord, thank you. I am going to be able to breathe. August is going to be a whole new month for me. My whole money idea is changed. I'm running around the room. I can't breathe. I'm so excited. I feel like that the Holy Spirit just dumped all of this wisdom on me, and I am going to be able to breathe now. I am going to make it. Now, when I work overtime, it's not just to play catch up. It's actually to start working down my debt. Does anybody feel the power in the room? That's the way I felt when I first heard about velocity banking. And when I heard about infinite banking, which I was talking to it about at the beginning of this live, if you did not catch the beginning, please go to the YouTube channel and go to this live and watch it all, because I was talking about the infinite banking concept. Get excited, because if you have been in a tight spot with your money, this probably answered your question as to what am I going to do? Because I can't make my credit card payment tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I can't make my credit card payment. What am I going to do? They're going to charge me a fee because I'm going to be late. What am I going to do? Find an expense to pay. I know you're going to eat today. I know you are. I know you're going to eat tomorrow. I know if we live, we're going to eat next week. I know that you have to pay that electric bill if you want air in your home. I know that you're going to have to buy gas if you're driving a car. So how about sitting down at that table, and don't do it in dread, do it in excitement, because this is exciting stuff when you've been struggling financially. And I'm excited for you. And I can't wait to hear your feedback in a month, if you're just starting today, at how free you feel now. How free you feel. That you feel like you got a raise and you didn't. You just started putting your money somewhere that serves you instead of the bank. I'm excited because I'm going to stay excited. You can't naysay me down. I don't even care what people like radio think. I don't even care what big gurus think about what I do. I don't care. What I care about is getting you free. What I care about is you having this feeling that I have on the inside of me right now of I do not have to worry about where my money's going tomorrow, because I figured this out. I figured out how the bank works and what little things that we can do, like this right here, to get free from that choke collar that you've got like some animal around your neck called debt and monthly payments. And you have literally learned how to release the latch. That's what I want for you, because that's where I'm at. And I am super excited to share this information with you. You don't have to pay me a dime for this information. You just heard it. You just saw how to run your own credit cards to gain you some cash flow so that you can have the money that you need to start eliminating debt. And I couldn't be any more excited to give it to you. I hope that you guys are just jumping up and down with me right now on the inside. I hope that you're running your numbers. You have to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you can't do anything with your finances. You have to know every dime that's coming in, and you have to know every dime that's going out. And once you get that lined up, then you can play this game and see how quickly you're going to be out of debt. No, Ella, I did not show you that I put all of my income into a credit card. I was showing you the HELOC. You pay your expenses with the credit card. If you spend $500 a month in food, groceries, restaurants, then you put $500 into the credit card that I was showing here. Okay? I have videos on the YouTube channel, the playlist. You can go look under credit card debt strategies, and it shows you different scenarios to do with your credit cards. The IBC, I have videos for it. I think I have a playlist for that. I hope I do, because that's super important. Yeah. The infinite banking concept, I have the link again underneath the videos that you can go there, check that out. But you know what? Just get free, learn, watch. Watching videos never hurt anybody, and I try to keep them under I try to keep most of the videos under 10 minutes so that we don't get bored, because I must be ADHD or something, and I can only, my attention can only stay somewhere for just a minute. So I need to get the information as super fast as I can. So if you're that way, then these videos are set up to accommodate you to move very quickly through the information so you can get busy laying it all out and being excited about being alive again. Oh my goodness, that's all we all want. Everybody just wants peace, right? Peace. That's all I want, and I know that that's all you guys want. So your financial peace may have just arrived, and I hope so. So please leave, questions, comments below the videos. I look at the videos every day because I want to be able to keep up with your questions. I appreciate all the kind words that you leave in the video comments. They're just so, so kind of you. So kind of you to really let me know that you're learning and that you're excited, because I want to see excitement. I want to see that you guys are doing well. And I'm excited to be the one to talk to you about that. So I am going to let you all go. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I hope that you've learned something here today. And like I said, I hope that you're super excited to get back into your finances and, really sit down and narrow this down and then breathe. We all just want to breathe. Okay? All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next